Okay, we're live. Hey,
Here we
everybody, and
go.
welcome to episode number 2 of the Real Show, where we are real people giving you real content on real estate. So, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone who watched episode number 1, where we were talking about first time home buying. So, today, my name is Jordan Rossman. I'm joined today by my co host, Alfredo Torres. Say hello, Alfredo.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? Thanks for joining us again this evening. Really excited to do this show, this segment on investing in real estate. Lots of great information to learn, or if you already know, just to be refreshed with. I think it's going to be a great segment. And again, remember, if you have any questions or comments, please put it in the comment box below, and we'll do our best to get back to you either at the end of the show or personally message you and answer all your questions. Thank you.
Cool, Alfredo. So again, today we're going to be talking about the everything you need to know about investing in real estate. So I wanted to start out by really simply breaking down the 3 different types of investment properties that you can actually buy and use in your investment portfolio. So the first one that we can look at is actually a commercial property. So this is a property where your tenants are a commercial business. So whether that's anything from a doctor's office to a lawyer to a retail store, anything that is a business as your tenant is a commercial property. So basically, this property is going to give you the most steady stream of income in terms of reliable tenants. Having said that, typically not the most profitable. So number 2, we're looking at a single family residential property. So this is anything that is basically a house or a condo that you can actually rent to a single family. So again, here you're going to find sort of a mid-level income, a little bit more than commercial, but not sort of the max, but you've got one tenant to look after. So, whether that's a good tenant or a bad tenant, sort of the luck of the draw. And so the third one is a multi-family unit. So whether that's a duplex, a triplex, a multiplex, an apartment building that's got 100 units in it, a multi-family unit is the sort of the cream of the crop when it comes to income, absolute maximum amount of income. Having said that, when you've got multiple tenants, you've got a ton of different potential problems that come up. So basically, when we look at the 3 different types of investment properties, what really becomes the question, and this is sort of the first question that I always ask people when they start talking about investing in real estate, is you have to ask yourself the question of what type of landlord do I want to be? So, typically what we find is the more money you make, the more potential headaches you have to deal with. So really, when it comes to what type of landlord you want to be, whether it's you and your spouse investing or you and your business partner, you really have to sit down initially and have that chat to find out, what level of income are we looking for and what potential headaches can arise from that. So again, commercial real estate, single family, and multifamily are the 3 baskets of properties that we can invest in real estate. So Alfredo, there's the 3 that you can invest in. Now, why don't you give us a quick couple seconds on how do we actually make money doing this?
Awesome. I love sharing this part because this is the part that I'm, more knowledgeable in. And basically, I'm going to touch more on specifically the real estate investment properties. I'm going to talk to you about how to acquire them, what kind of to look at, talk about 3 main things, which is profit, appreciation, and principal pay down. So before we get into those, though, you have to invest. So there's many different ways you can invest to buy a residential investment property. You're going to look at needing 20% down. Typically, it's always going to be 20% down. There's another case, which I will touch on just after this, but to buy your investment property, you need 20% down. Now, where are you going to get that 20% down? You can get it from your hard-earned savings. If you have investments, they've grown, you can pull it out from there. Other place to get it from is if you're already an existing homeowner and you have equity in there, you can look at refinancing your property, pulling out that equity so that you have that equity working for you instead of just sitting in the property, because it will make you money. Number 3, if you have a lot of availability in your debt ratio, so you're able to service some debt, sometimes what you could do is, well, you could get a home equity line of credit and you can borrow against it for the down payment. You get a personal loan, you get an unsecured line of credit. There's many different ways to do it. In certain cases, you can even have down payment from gifted from immediate family. So that's step one, is getting that down payment so that you can get your foot in the door. Once there, you want to run your numbers. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're qualified for a certain amount. That way you're not looking at properties and wasting time again. You always want to make sure that you know your numbers. That way you know what you're looking at and you can, strike right away. You got to put in that offer before somebody else beats you to it, because these things come and go, and you could be looking at one that morning and all of a sudden it's gone that evening. It might be even sooner sometimes. I'm sure Jordan has some experiences where they're gone before they're even there. So that is the whole qualifying and down payment part. Now, how do you make money? How do you actually make money? Well, profit. So you want it to cash flow. A rental property is all about cash flow. It's all about rate of your return. So your ROI. It's key to investing. So there's no other reason why you would invest if you weren't going to get a rate of return on your money that you put in. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you cover the costs. So you got to cover the mortgage payment, the property taxes. You want to cover some maintenance. You want to cover home insurance if anything happens to the property. You charge a rent of so much, and you got to make it cash flow. Whether it cash flows $50 or it cash flows $500, cash flow is key for making profit, because without that, you're putting more money into it, and it's more. I mean, you're still going to make, because there's other factors, but cash flow is key. It just saves you a lot. Number two, appreciation on the property. So by owning that investment, sure, you're going to make cash flow and you're going to make money that's going to go to the bank, but also while you're having that property in your possession, that is going to grow, and it varies from year to year. Again, Jordan would know historically, and Jordan knows kind of where the market's going, but it's going to grow regardless. Real estate always grows. So number three, principal pay down. So principal pay down is about just paying your mortgage off. So you're not going to be doing that. The renters are doing that with the cash flow, because you're cash flowing. So, in 1 year, you could pay anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 off of the mortgage. So not only are you growing as your mortgage decreases, you're growing while you're maintaining that, or you're holding that property while you're using it to make profit. So an investment property, if you have the ability to do it, it's a win-win for you. You'll feel good as you'll help another family live in it. It's a good feeling all around. And I know that sometimes it can be a little bit scary. I think anytime you start something new, there's going to be those emotions in there. But once you go through the process, and you go through it with some great people with knowledge that are going to support you the whole way through, you are going to love it. And then you're going to be like, when can I get my next one? Right. So those are the main pieces to how to do it, to how to invest in a property traditionally. Now, what you could also do is you could buy your first home, and then all of a sudden you're growing your family and you can't fit in the house anymore. Well, you may have put 5% down because that was your principal residence, but now if you have the equity in the home and you refinance it, or you have some savings, you can move to the next property, and now you have that property that has become a rental property just because you owned it and you actually stayed in it for a while. Right. And you can actually do that a few times. If you're willing to move, you can invest less by putting that 5 down and then moving over to one and another. So I can explain that further. If you have any questions, again, put them in the comment boxes. But basically, 3 big points: profit, you want a cash flow; property appreciation, you know it's going to grow; and principal pay down. Those renters are going to pay down that mortgage, which is going to give you more equity, and who knows, maybe you'll just cash out that equity to buy the next one. Right. So now that I'm done my little speech, I'm going to give it over to Jordan. Jordan, what are your 3 pro tips right now at the top of your head in investing in real estate?
So basically, and I appreciate what you just said, Alfredo. It's really important to understand that in real estate investing in general, there's different ways that you can actually make money. So, you know, a lot of people are just looking for monthly income. Some people are just looking for appreciation of value. Again, like I said, when you're looking at what type of landlord you want to be, it seems to me like, you know, it's the same thing with money. You want to find out what type, like, do I need cash right now? Or can I sort of buy a property that's more appreciation of value that, you know, is a more of a long-term play. So, you know, I appreciate you highlighting that there are different ways to make money in real estate. So in terms of 3 pro tips, so here's 3 things that you can do right now when you go to look to buy your first investment property. Number 1 is know your area. So whatever property that you find that seems intriguing, you need to know very intimately what that neighborhood is and who lives there and who's actually going to be renting there. So what's close by? Are you near a university where you're predominantly student rentals? Are you near a big manufacturing plant where you've got a ton of people who work there? Maybe you're near a casino, you know, a big employer. So you really need to know the area and what type of renters actually flock to that area. Number 2, you need to know your numbers cold. So Alfredo, you very briefly touched on the numbers game of investing in real estate, but really, you know, when you buy, what I've found is a difference between buying your home and buying an investment property is that when you buy your home, it typically is a very emotional decision in terms of, you know, we really feel at home here. We feel that we love it. It's beautiful. It's pretty, that type of decision, where investing is more of a numbers game. So it needs to be more of a calculated decision. You need to plan your numbers properly. You need to know your numbers. You need to know exactly what you need to make to turn a profit on that property. So, you know, one of the things that a lot of people typically underestimate is the fact that no matter what property that you know, what property you buy, whether it's commercial, single family, or multifamily, you're going to have vacancies at some point. So whether you want to have a reserve fund to help you pay the bills during those 1 or 2 months a year that you may have a vacancy, or whether you want to look at a multi-unit property where the current, you know, let's say you've got 4 units and one of them is vacant, the other 3 renters are helping subsidize the bills. You need to plan for vacancies and you need to plan for those unexpected costs. And then the final thing that you need to know is, what are your rights as a landlord? So whether it's commercial, single family, multi-family, there are different laws that apply to the Landlord Tenant Act. Landlords are restricted in many different ways. Landlords have different rights depending on what type of property they're buying. So one of the areas that I think people do the least amount of homework, which could be the most important part of investing in real estate, is knowing what you can and cannot do as a landlord. So there's my 3 pro tips: know your area, know your numbers, and know your rights. So Alfredo, I think, you know, in a nutshell, you know, investing in real estate is a very, very broad topic, just like first-time home buying. You know, it's a huge thing, especially now when the market's hot. A lot of people are looking at buying investment properties. So, you know, it's something that we can only touch on briefly in an episode like this. To the people watching on Facebook, if you have any questions about investing in real estate or any real estate related questions, feel free to put them in the comment section below. But basically, you know, that's commercial investing, real estate investing in a nutshell. So know what types of properties are available, know how you're going to make money, and then know your area, know your numbers, and know your rights. So thank you everybody for watching the 2nd episode of The Real Show. Question of the day for the people watching: here is our new branding. Yes or no in the comment section below, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook. Do you like the new one or do you like the old one? So everybody, thank you so much for watching. We kept this a little bit shorter than the first one, which I think in terms of the feedback we got on number 1 is a good thing. Alfredo, any parting words?
No, I think I think the the show was a little short, but it was very sweet. We covered a lot of points. It's sometimes content related, so even though it's short, it's going to be specific to every situation. You know, everyone's a little bit different. So we covered the basics, and if there is particular questions, we are here for you guys. They're in the comment box is right there. But I think we covered a lot. I think it was a great little episode, and I can't wait to do this again next Tuesday at 7. We're always going to be on Tuesdays at 7 with another great topic, so stay tuned. We'll put that on.
Awesome. Alfredo, we got a couple comments here on Facebook Live. It's a good question. It's actually a question that's sort of a hot topic right now. I'm going to very quickly answer it. Ty has asked, should I get a building inspection? I will say that Ty is a building inspector, but yes, Ty, you absolutely, and I'm not just saying this to make you happy, you absolutely should get a building inspection, whether it's a commercial building, a house, or a multi-unit building. You absolutely should get an inspection. The potential cost, the maintenance cost of that building is something that's going to factor into that cash flow number that Alfredo spoke about. Anything that you've got to put money out for is something that's going to take away from your cash flow and away from your overall return on investment. So yes, Ty, you absolutely should get an inspection. And Emily, yes, on Facebook Live, our sign is backwards. On YouTube, it's not. So maybe we're going to get two signs, Alfredo. We're going to get one that's backwards and one that's not, so that people on Facebook and on YouTube can both see our new fancy logo.
Right? Jesus, awesome. That's so weird. I don't understand why that happens. It's terrible, but we really try.
So anyways, thank you everybody for watching, and we look forward to doing a new episode. Episode number 3 will be airing next Tuesday at 7 p.m., our usual time. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.